morning, Creative Candies and everybody. I just wanted to share a couple of things that I'm doing in my studio. I don't know if any of you watched America's Got Talent, but the year before last they had a song that was I'm in my studio, I'm in my studio. Anyhow, she got booed off the stage, and then it turned that was my little commentary for being in my studio. I'm a little bit chilly in here. I do have the heat going on, not exactly sure. I do have a mess, plethora of a mess here, but let me show you what I've got going on here. I've seen this tutorial from the Scrappy Print or the Scrapping Princess 2, and I'm just amazed at these little. I'm addicted to these little dresses for some reason, and I'm actually looking for some commentary to go on the notes that I've made and templates that I have pre-designed in MS Word. Using the rectangular effect, giving an outline. And I'm actually going to be doing a screencast tutorial on that at some point in the future. A little costly on the on the programming side of it, though that's what I'm saving for. So without further ado, let me demonstrate the first card. These are actually called Easel cards, and Beata from Split Clothes Stampers is the one that did the tutorial. There's different sizes on the Split Clothes Stampers website by the links from my www.createcandy that can show you how to make different sizes of easel cards. And this will fit in our Philosophy Art cartridge size 5.75 for the outside envelope, and then you want to do the same for the inside of an envelope. If you were going to make an envelope, let me show you what that looks like. So the envelopes are just a standard, 5.75 envelope. And the liner, of course, you just cut off the flaps. You adhere it down on the inside. You're going to turn, because it's really easy, since we got the little slits in here, to flip the insides in, flip it up, and then, of course, you can decorate the outside. Of course, on this one, I went ahead and I embossed Happy Birthday. So, and these cards fit just wonderfully inside them. However, what I recommend is using a little padding or something for the dress portion, because it does kind of stick out. And there's so many different things you can do with these dresses. You can add tulle, you can add buttons, blingies, just all sorts of neat little things. And of course, my craft area is a very, very, I'm very sloppy in what I do when I craft. But these are different variations that I had gotten from them and how they stand up. And of course, I posted them on my creativecandy.com website, and you can see the saying here, I think. Oh, let me get that just right. How I did that in MS Word. Well, I have done Winter Wonderland and come up with some of my own sayings for a Winter Wonderland card to send out to people. That says Winter Wishes, and you can see that I've used what's called our RGB color value chart that actually matches. So I've got Twighlight, Crystal Blue, and Chocolate in my color hues here, and it's really neat because all you have to do is cut right along the outside of the box, and the box becomes your border, and then just take a little sponge and ink the outside of the border to make sure that you get the same effect. And then you put the B&T up there we go. Then you put the B&T behind this piece, and then of course you have your the cardstock that you're using to adhere for your easel portion when you're folding a card. So let me show you what I've been up to. And because I'm so addicted to these, I actually have an entire wardrobe going on, so to speak. With that said, in the scheme of wardrobing here, I wanted to show you a couple that I'm really, really adoring. Now, I have a thing that's called a cuddle bug, as well as my Cricut. And what a cuddle bug does, it does die cutting and whatnot and such sorts. But because I have a Cricut E2, I don't necessarily need that. So, but my cuddle bug has these embossing folders, and this one you can see is like a Swiss dot like Swiss dots. But because I did the Winter Wonderland paper, which is just one sheet of this paper here, it's a 12 by 12 sheet, and of course I've got it cut down. You can get 12, actually, yeah, well, 3, 6, yeah, you can actually get 12 3.75 flowers off of this paper here. Again, please ignore, or never mind the dastardly aspect here. You probably should put like, okay, here we go. Is that better? I'm just kidding. So anyhow, that's that's just demonstrating what you, or the part that I was showing for that. And of course, here's the 8.5 by 4 1/4 sheet of paper that I used to fold the card portions of this, because of course this was the gray flannel, and then it's scored at 4 1/4 inches and 6 3/8 inches. For those that have a score pal, it'll score at the 6 3/8 inch automatically, and then of course you're going to accordion fold it and then adhere this piece right here to the top. And then of course I put the dress in the middle. But going back to the dresses, I thought, how cute is it to be able to make, like, you know, a little Christmas, you know, the Winter Wishes one with the dress, because I'm so addicted to these dresses, and I want to find a little tux that I could fold using our cartridge, to be able to create like a tuxedo effect, so that I could have them in a duo and do a 5x7 card. Maybe not an easel necessarily, but easel cards are the best because they stand up. Then of course there's, and this is another variation using the back of the B&T, or one of the B&Ts that has the argyle, and I have an argyle embossing folder, as you can tell, so it gives an argyle emboss effect for the background here. And then of course when I was just playing around learning or figuring this all out, I just made a bunch of different types of dresses. And of course I wished I would have had some satin ribbon or some organdy, but you learn to compensate when you don't have those things. And so I'm using corduroy buttons. They're Twighlight buttons. It's a discontinued item that we used to have in one of our medley packs. However, I've got all kinds of things covered out here. And of course, here was another accordion pocket card type thing that I had worked on. I posted onto my website. Right now, I'm using these adorable designer bling brads. I guess I should know the name of the product, right? In either case, I'm enjoying using these as centerpieces for the special ones, like such as this, that I can send out to friends and family. And just to briefly show you what you would do is you would take just an entire flower. I'm just going to show you really quick. You take a whole flower like this, and you are going to score from end to end all the way around the flower, from end to end, end to end, or end to end, end to end, all the way around the flower, making sure that you leave a space, leave one score line open up at the top. So when you go to score this centerpiece here, you're only going to score at the bottom. That way you leave this piece open, and that piece is going to become your heart piece. There's so many different variations. The one that I had seen that Haley did from Mandy Leahy's photo actually had little dots on hers. So I kind of took that to another level. Just adding more, because I'm always, the more, you know, glitter, glitz, bling, it looks more funky to me. And so here's an example of one of the dresses I did for that. And then I used a spray pen in order to, of course, our close to my heart spray pens, right here. If you mix our pearl ink, I only drop probably about 3 to 4 drops of that, with 7 drops of 6 to 7 drops of reinker, depending on how dark or how light that I want the color or the spray to be. And then I fill up to the 10th line here on the bottle of water, the rest of the way with water. And then I shake it really, really good. And I use warm water and I shake it really, really good. That way I get a spray effect. And that's what gives me this little glitzy, glittery, glimmery. I'm not sure if you can see the glitter shimmer. In fact, I have to tilt it to the side or so. So that's what I'm doing with this, and of course I've got a centerpiece for that. So, and then you're just going to use a glue dot to adhere it down. That's what I've been doing. And I also fold in each side so that when it's laying on the card, you're actually giving, like, it matches on the side with, as far as the way that it lays open, and you're not getting like the background effect. So when you're just doing plain cardstock and not adding B&Ts, so this is what I did with that, using a little chocolate ribbon, because some of my sayings have a chocolate background. And then because they have a chocolate background, or some of the sayings that I had done here on this sheet of paper have a chocolate background, and there's some polka dot papers that I would use underneath the saying, that's the reason why I did the chocolate Organdy polka dot ribbon that I had bulk of that was left. And then of course I adhered to the center these twinkle brads that we had from before. So just kind of going through some of my supplies, because these do include Twighlight in the twinkle brads. There's only room for three of them, or to do 3 of them. But these things are just wonderful. You can use buttons, you could use designer brads and sparkles and opaque adhesive gems and just regular sparkles, and bust up the bustier a little, and these pewter brads, these designer filigree charms. There are a plethora of things that you can use, obviously, to bling, ding, and bring some enhancement to your cards, or in this case for this particular project that I was making. I just wanted to reiterate and demonstrate or show what I've been working on, and thank Amy and the Scrap Princess and everybody else for all their assistance. And without their tutorials, I would have not thought to bring these projects to light. And on that note, one that's not so messy, I still wanted to show off my cute Cricut cover and my gypsy bag. Oh, my gypsy's not back. So I have my little Cricut mascot, obviously. We got the little Cricut guy here. And then here's my gypsy purse. So I'm absolutely in awe. I love my ensemble. Absolutely love it. Love it, love it. This is my Cricut workspace over here, and of course he's not standing guard too well. He's supposed to be guarding the Cricut area over in the side. So without further ado, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. And yes, I got my Susie and pals behind me to support me in all that I do. And thanks for watching.